So, my friends, I was reading an article which I posted on the title screen of this video. A Berkeley doctor apparently stated that chemotherapy kills people, more than cancer. That the doctor claims that people die from chemotherapy, not from cancer. Um, when I read this, I immediately believed it. I immediately believed it, and I'm gonna explain why. Because I know a lot of people that have cancer, and of the people that I know that have cancer, many of them have opted for not getting cancer treatment, and I've noticed that those people in particular actually last longer than the ones that are on chemotherapy. That's just my personal experience, what I've seen. um Chemotherapy, man, that's some really toxic stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, and I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me on this. Don't listen to me in terms of a legal advice, because I'm not a doctor, so I'm probably wrong, and or I might be right. Me personally, if I were diagnosed with terminal cancer, me personally, I would probably opt for not doing conventional, medical therapy. Me personally, I probably would go the natural route. I heard a lot of good things about vitamin C therapies and stuff like that. So I would go that route. A lot of people are afraid to die. I'm not one of them. I mean, I look at it this way. I'm a very strong believer in Jesus Christ, and when God has my time, it says my time is up. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to roll with the Lord. You know what I mean? So, I'm me personally. When God says it's your time, Ruben, I'm not gonna go and try and pump my body with with chemicals and stuff. you know I mean, to a certain degree, if you have a headache, if you have a pain, like, I wouldn't refuse pain medication if I was in pain during if I had like a cancer or something. Yeah, I would get pain medication. But in terms of chemotherapy, um I don't think I would ever do that. That's just my thought on it. But it just, it got to me, it hit me hard, because a Berkeley doctor is saying something that I've always believed, to be true. I don't want to sound like I'm more inclined to being a conspiracy theorist, because I'm really not. But um, the whole fact of of the fact that the chemotherapy is a, and all this is a business. When you bring in the word business into health, I mean, you know right now, honestly, we're in the year 2018. you know what diseases have been cured? You don't hear the word cure anymore. All you hear is treatment and treatment options. You know what I'm saying? And it goes to show, when I was a caseworker, all right. I was an HIV caseworker in New Jersey, and I remember one time I went to the doctor because I was taking my clients to the infectious disease clinic, and I got an opportunity to sit down with the one of the infectious disease specialists, and and I asked her a simple question. I said, "Look at this." I asked her, when people are on HIV medications, their viral load counts with the medications, with the antiretroviral treatments, it reaches undetectable levels. I mean, undetectable means zero. A lot of my patients were undetectable at the time. What it means is, in a regular laboratory blood test, the amount of HIV in their blood was so small that it was not detectable. It doesn't mean that they were cured or healed of HIV, AIDS. It just means that their virus count in their blood is undetectable. So I asked her a very simple question. I asked her, if that's the case, why don't they just make if the medications work so well to reach undetectable levels, Why don't they just like make the medication a little stronger and just eradicate the virus completely? She gave me a silence. She didn't say anything. She didn't answer my question. I asked another doctor the same question in another instance of the same place. I asked him the same exact question, and he gave me an excuse. He said, "Well, the HIV virus hides out in the lymph nodes, and the medications do not penetrate the brain barrier, and that is why, even if they have an undetectable, they still might have HIV in their lymph nodes or in their, in their brain." So then it brings me up to another question. I said, okay, so if the medications cannot penetrate the brain barrier, why does alcohol penetrate the brain barrier and make a person drunk? You know, you didn't know how to answer that. So, I mean, I don't want to go in and make this sound like some kind of a conspiracy theory that doctors know about. I don't want to get into that because that's not really my point. But my point is that I do believe that there isn't an intention to cure people any longer. There isn't an intention. I believe that there are more they're more inclined to treatment options, because like that you could keep the person on medications all their life and you make a killing off of every person and every diagnosis. um, I heard a documentary once about a fruit called that they have actually here in the tropics, called guanabana. um, I don't know what the English name for guanabana is, but I believe it's soursop, if I'm not mistaken, in English, soursop. And basically, the guanabana slash soursop in English is a big green thing. It looks like a kind of like a melon with like little spikes on it. It looks like a big green pineapple esque type thing. Well, apparently, and according to this documentary that I saw, um, the the guanabana fruit has cancer curing properties. According to that study, it said that the guanabana slash soursop is 10 times more effective than chemotherapy without any side effects. That's what the study said. Now, apparently, the pharmaceutical companies were studying the curative properties of the guanabana slash soursop fruit, and they wanted to extract the healing properties to patent it and turn it into pills, turn it into the medication. And apparently, they were unable to extract those properties from the guanabana plant. So what happens is they abandoned all research on the guanabana soursop fruit because they couldn't market it. You can't patent something that just grows out of nature. It has to be an invention. And so, since they failed to extract those curative healing properties from the guanabana to be able to market it, they abandoned that. You know, um, like I said, these are things that come out in the internet. These are stories. These are videos. These are documentaries. I am open to everything. I am not like a total believer in everything, and I don't disregard conventional medicine. But I do analyze a lot of the a lot of the things that come out. I know that China, for example, they embrace natural remedies a lot more than here in the US. In China, they use both. you know so you can't just discard things just because of that. But going back to this report that the Berkeley doctor says that chemo kills more than cancer, I'm very inclined to believe that. I really believe that. I think that is true. So, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but me personally, you know, God give me life and God give me health. But the day that a doctor diagnoses me with a terminal, if and I hope it doesn't ever happen, but if and then a doctor diagnoses me with cancer or something, um, unless it's something minimal, like let's say a little skin cancer on your arm that you get a skin graft or something. But I'm talking about like big cancer. You know what I mean? I think that I would not go into no chemotherapy. I think I would just live the life that God has given me and try to eat and eat the best I can and try to naturally combat the cancer and you know that's how I would probably do it. But then again, I'm not in the situation, so you never know when you get that diagnosis. Maybe the way you think now isn't the way you might think later. So but yeah, I just I found it very interesting, so I posted up the article right there on the title, under my title. You could click on it and just read the article, and give your input. What do you guys think about that article about the Berkeley doctor claiming that people die from chemotherapy, not cancer? Ruben Obed, this is the episode 12 of the Ruben Obed Show. God bless you.